What's up, Swig Squad? T with the Diva here. I come before you. I don't know if you guys heard of this young lady. Her name is Tierra Ellis. She was the young lady who was involved in the shenanigans of Tim, the son of Sweetie Pie. And he was accused of putting the hit out on his nephew. So she did an interview with the local podcast, Boxed In, BXN. It was a podcast with a young lady, and then it was like a young man's voice behind the camera. But she is out of prison. Well, no, she was in jail. She wasn't in prison. She was in jail. She never went to prison. So when she had her trial for the time that she was served, she only had like 4 weeks left to do after that. But anywho, she said that she had no idea that he was plotting against his nephew. She said that she was in Memphis, and Tim was in LA. She said her and Tim would hook up from time to time over the years. And like he would send her money, he would help her out. Anything she asked him for, he would send it. So he was like a pretty cool guy. It wasn't just a wham bam thank you ma'am thing like they was trying to make it out to be. But they was like pretty cool, even though, you know, they was like friends with benefits. So she said that he had pulled up on her one day and he was talking about how stressed he was because his nephew had broke into their house and allegedly took $250,000. So she said in Memphis, you know, you have like shady family members like that, because she said she had a nephew who took $900 from her, and her sister went and looked for him, picked him up from school. They roughed him up, and she eventually ended up getting out of him where her money was. She said that when her and Tim were talking, and she saw the picture of the nephew, and she was like, oh, he was at the club. He asked me to be in one of his videos. So I had been corresponding back and forth with him. And she said, I'm sure I could text him and he'll text me back. And so Tim was trying to get her to reach out to him so that he could like find out where he was. So she said that she got in touch with him. He talked about the video that he wanted her to do with him, and he asked her to pick him up some pants. So this was the way that her and Tim would be able to catch him and see where he was. So she said that when she met him to give him the pants, first of all, Tim went and got her a burner phone. Now, that's where I think her story starts shaking up, because he gave you 10 bands and gave you a burner phone, and you didn't think nothing about that. Like, even when y'all was looking for your nephew, did y'all buy some burner phones? Like, y'all didn't. Oh, she said that he gave her 10 bands, and she said that he bought them some burner phones, but still no red flags. She said that he told her, go meet up with him and then hand him the pants, and didn't tell her anything else. So she said she met up with him. She said that she hands him the pants, and when he walks back up on the porch to go into the house, she just heard she pulled off. She driving. She called Tim like, what's up? What was all that going? What happened? He said nothing. Throw the phone away and go home. Go back to Memphis, because they was in St. Louis at the time. So she like, okay. So, but she thinking like, what's happening? What's going on? So he told her to stay out of St. Louis, but she was a dancer, and she said that she was just chasing the money back then. So she would end up back in St. Louis, and he would be mad because he also told her don't talk to nobody about it either. So she's thinking in her head like, dang, what did we do? Why is he so secretive about this? And why did he buy us burner phones? Like, she's thinking about why he did this, but she's not really questioning it. She's just thinking about. So she said he told her don't talk to nobody about it, and he would be mad at her when she would go back to St. Louis. So she said that she at home back in Memphis, and this was like 2018, 29, whenever it was that she got picked up. She said that the peoples came to her door. They beating on the door, and they like, Tierra Ellis, we got a warrant out for your arrest. And she like, what? She's knowing that they're mistaking. So she like, oh, I know this not gonna be real. This will be over in a minute because I ain't done nothing. She said them people came after her, and when they told her that story, she just broke down. She said, so she was in jail like almost 2 years. Or was it 3? Because she was sentenced to like 36 months in totality. When they told her that she was sentenced to 36 months, she only had like a month or a couple weeks to a month to go. So she said that when she was in jail and she kept going to court, they kept telling her she was going to get life. They was telling her she was going to get the electric chair. She told them the truth from jump. She never ever sugarcoated anything. And she said she was a victim too. And so the FBI, what she said that they ended up saying is that they had spoken to people who knew people that she knew. Not necessarily people that she knew, but people who knew people that she knew. And they all had good things to say about her. And she said that's what they told her kind of helped her case. And I guess they started like looking into things more, and they saw that like she didn't have as much of a responsibility as they thought she had. She said the judge ended up saying that the family told them, I want to see her in jail for the rest of her life. And the judge said, I know y'all are hurting because Andre is no longer with us. She said that the judge said, but she didn't have nothing to do with it. She's not the one that y'all want. She's not the one that had nothing to do with this. It was a lot of people in the comments that was saying that she got away with murder and that she knew more than she said she knew. And I could probably believe that a little bit, but she wasn't as into it as they think as Tim was. She wasn't as into it as he was. And I understand Miss Robbie and all of that. But I would love to know how she feels now that the system has vindicated her grandson. And Andre did not have anything to do with her house being broken into. And now that she knows that Tim probably convincing her while he in there that he still has something to do with it. But and he probably convincing her that he's probably trying to convince to her that Andre had something to do with them breaking into her house. And he's probably also trying to convince her that he had nothing to do with Andre's unaliving. So I just wonder what Miss Robbie feels now, because Terica said she did not know who the guy was that actually did the actual act, and she had no idea about the insurance. So she didn't know any of this. She wasn't going to get any insurance money. What he gave her was what he was going to give her. And she's saying that she had no idea that what went on would be what would go on. I just kind of questioned when she said that when he gave her the burner phone, she didn't know what that was about. I just felt like, it sounds too sketchy. But what y'all think, Swig Squad? Let me know if y'all heard about this. Her name is Tierra Ellis. Do y'all remember Tim, the one from Sweetie Pies, the one who had something to do with his nephew being unalived? Let me know if you guys heard about this. All right, Swig Squad, Tea with the Diva. Y'all have a good evening and enjoy.